Dear students, welcome to the MOOC on India's foreign policy in a globalizing world. In this lesson, we are going to learn about China and India as rising powers in Asia and the world. Main objectives of this lesson are to know how China is rising as a power, to know how India is rising as a power, to understand how India and China are major players in Asia and the world. We begin with the first part of the lesson, in which we will discuss about China as a rising power. Geographical proximity, similar values, economies and convergence of interest in various areas such as terrorism, climate change, access to energy, eradication of poverty, etc. would facilitate India and China to cooperate with each other for their economic prosperity. Both countries are engaging each other to develop their economies. They would be seen as key players in Asia in future. Both are members in various regional groupings such as BRICS and BCIM. China is a dialogue partner in the Indian Ocean Rim Association, whereas India is actively involved. Both countries are members of the ADMM+, and they can enhance their cooperation on bilateral, regional and multilateral levels. India and China had fought a war in 1962 and they are yet to resolve their land border dispute. They had strained relations during the Cold War period. In the post-Cold War era, apart from the border dispute, some issues persist and are seen as factors for their strained relations. They include the presence of the Dalai Lama in India, India's closer relations with the West, India's expansion in the Malacca Straits, China's friendship with Pakistan, Chinese string of pearls strategy, Chinese presence near Hormuz, etc. The dragon China and the elephant India have been rising simultaneously in the continent of Asia and the world. But the questions that arise are they rising peacefully? What is the nature of their relationship? What implication does it have for Asia and the world? While delving into such questions, one has to reckon with the fact that there is bound to be a competitive stance to the relationship when two rising countries have shared factors such as more or less equal population, natural resources and physical size, affected by colonialism, emerged as independent nations at around the same time, etc. Also, the dragon and the elephant happen to be neighbors, which increases the potential risk and the necessity for containing conflict escalation while opening windows of opportunity for cooperation in as many areas as possible. Let us discuss about China as a rising power. China and India have come a long way in shedding off the ill effects of colonialism and post-colonialism. Today, they are the fastest growing economies in the world. China has achieved many significant feats, which include gobbling up resources, soaking investment, expanding its overseas footprint, foraying into new waters and managing a highly flourishing economy, which is the engine of its growth and global standing. China is everywhere. China has pulled the largest number of its people out of poverty, with the percentage dropping from 66% to less than 1% between 1990 to 2015. China would have not realized in 1980 and 1990 that it would become a major power. Chinese military capabilities have expanded to commensurate with its economic growth. China's naval expansion consists of two major oceans, the Pacific and the Indian Oceans. China has taken steps to acquire blue water logistics capabilities in the distant sea of the Indian Ocean region. Around the 1990s, China was incapable of conducting far seas operations even for non-combat missions. This became evident during the 1991 crisis in Somalia. China had to arrange for a state-owned commercial vessel to evacuate Chinese citizens stranded in Somalia. Since then, China has come a long way in modernizing its naval fleet. In the 2015 Defense White Paper, China lists 8 crucial strategic tasks for the PLAN as absolutely inevitable. Effectively safeguard the sovereignty and security of China's territorial land, sea and air. Resolutely defend the unification of the Chinese motherland. Safeguard China's security and interest in new domains. Safeguard the security of China's overseas interests. Maintain strategic deterrence and carry out nuclear counterattack. Participate in regional and international security cooperation platforms. Strengthen operations directed against infiltration, separatism and terrorism. Perform other such tasks as emergency rescue, disaster relief and guard duties. To fulfill these roles and responsibilities, the PLAN has trained, maintained and sustained its anti-piracy deployment force at the Gulf of Aden consistently since 2008. It has also conducted successful non-combatant evacuation operations in Libya in 2012 and Yemen in 2015. It has also inaugurated its first overseas naval logistics facility at Djibouti in 2017 to aid, resupply and replenish its ships and other surface combatants traversing the Indian Ocean for smooth operations and projecting power in the Indian Ocean region. China justified the Djibouti base on the ground that it would enhance peacekeeping, help better protect overseas Chinese citizens as well as regional Belt Road Initiative investments. I hope you understood about China as a rising power. We will continue our discussion in the next video. Thank you.